talk to you guys about hooves today. Since that's what I do, I figured it'd be good to do a little informational video on that. These two that are mine, this one, I don't know if you can see him or not, probably not, but he's 23. He's been trimmed by a traditional farrier for most of his life until I got him this past year. So his hooves are changing slowly, but there's a lot of damage that has been done. He's got extremely thin soles from them being carved out constantly. And he's got the wrong angle for his foot, which I'm slowly changing. But they're basically, instead of being at the right slope, they're kind of flat out, which causes a lot of torque on the tendons. It increases their breakover, so if you're into barrel racing or anything like that, it basically adds time, which you don't want. So the main thing I wanted to go over was ripples on the hoof wall. They basically indicate that something happened that was stressful or caused a stressful reaction within the horse. That can be anything from diet to dewormers, vaccinations, trailering, just anything. Some horses are more sensitive than others. So it could be something as little as a training session. Mine have it because up until April of this year, they were out on pasture, about 20 acres of it, and they all got to roam free. There was a big herd of horses, and the people thought that if they had enough room to roam and exercise, it was better than them being stuck in a little bitty area, which is true as far as the exercise goes. As far as the diet goes, that's probably one of the worst things that you can do. Some horses have more tolerance for sugar than others, but if it is a pasture that isn't managed well and you've got really short spots and really tall spots, they're always going to go to those short spots because those are basically like sugar cubes for them. It's like kids to candy. If you give them a plate of vegetables or a plate of candy, they're going to go for the candy. So that basically triggers a reaction inside of the horse. And quarter horses, which these two are, I like to call predisposed to being diabetic or IR or metabolic, whatever you want to call it, because their genetics make them to where they gain weight very easily, or they're called easy keepers. That's not always a good thing. So if this breed of horse, or any of them that are susceptible to that, are out on pasture and out on that short grass areas or out in the middle of the day when sugar's the highest, that's going to basically flood their system with sugar, which they can't handle. And of course, anything that they can't handle almost always goes straight to their hooves. So, back to the ripples in the hoof wall, you will be able to see anything that has happened with them. It shows up on their hooves. So I, as a barefoot trimmer, will be able to tell if you're doing what you're saying you're doing, or if there's something wrong in the diet, or if it's just one ripple. Sometimes that's just one event, one trip to the vet for vaccinations, teeth floating. If you do all of those things in once, that's really stressful for them. Vaccinations is a whole nother issue. My suggestion is you just do the bare minimum. So, rabies, that's it. It's a really big insult to their immune system, and it will cause ripples on the hoof wall. Now you may be thinking, well, what's that matter? All horses have ripples on their hoof wall. If you have the diet right, if their immune system is functioning how it should function, and you're supporting them with good supplements, then you shouldn't have ripples on the hoof wall. If the hay is too high in sugar, it'll cause ripples. If you have continuous ripples or rings, stress lines, whatever you want to call them, going down the hoof wall, all the way down from the top to the bottom, you've got something that is constantly affecting their hooves. And basically those ripples are small indications of laminitis or inflammation in the hoof wall. So each of those ripples is an inflammation or a separation of the sensitive tissues that are within the hoof that keep the hoof wall connected to the coffin bone.